Hey guys, Invincible is a show that, you read the title, I don't like. I watched the show and I did not enjoy my experience. However, a lot of people love this show and have thrown tantrums over me not liking it. Obviously, this is not something I would sorry guys, anyway. I am an adult, and when it comes to people's opinions, I'm just not insecure.
You said you're not getting offended by opinions. Is that even possible? How are you going to say something that's stupid? Listen, these are negative reviews of the Zone of Interest. You gave that a 9?
Yes.
Then are you offended?
No.
Hey! Open your mouth.
Well, what? It's not good news. You have non-Manchild disease. You'll eventually stop throwing child tantrums. See, it starts with opinions, and, well, the best thing is rest. And get into some Reddit arguments. League of Legends, EA Sports. My life. Listen, I'm sorry.
Hey guys, guy who uses phone as a microphone here.
No, Joey killed me even though he didn't shoot me, dude.
This is what I'm saying.
Really care?
Fuck
You
off.
really care?
That's literally what I was saying, fucking moron.
I know, that's what I'm like reading into it.
Goes right through him. That doesn't make any sense. Here, I'll replay it for you again.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Why did this happen to me, bro?
It's always heavy now.
So guys, I'm dying. I have the very rare non-Manchild disease. So, now being one of the only normal people on Earth, I thought I'd give insight to my non-Manchild mind. But in all seriousness, it's time for me to explain why Invincible is a bad show. So it should come to no one's surprise that the first time I watched Invincible, I wasn't going into it like, bro, this shit is gonna be ass, bro. At the end of the day, guys, shows, movies, games are all entertainment, and I am looking to be entertained. The first time I watched Invincible, I thought it was really generic, super drawn out, weak writing with no subtlety while still having some good aspects, but overall not a good show. So in preparation for this video, I watched Invincible season 1 again, and something happened. I watched episode 1 and I liked it. The opening scene is there. Two random guys talking and one of them says this.
Coffee? For sure.
But I guess it's like the show trying to build relatability. The two Thanoses then show up and they say they want to kill the president. But I'm looking at this and I'm kind of just following it. Eventually Mark, the no charisma god, shows up. And I'm actually invested in his origin story. I'm then watching the school scene with the bully. The first time I watched this, I thought it was trash. Like actually embarrassing. But this time around, I actually laughed. And this is when it felt like I was now a different person. How many times have I talked shit on Invincible and now I'm sitting here questioning my life? The truth is that, yeah, I was invested in Mark. I bought into his desire to live up to these expectations of his father and the relationship overall. I thought the training scenes were cute and I really liked how the music was implemented. The normal version of the Invincible theme is, funnily enough, the epitome of Invincible's overly generic style. Just absolutely no self-awareness in how cliche it is. But here it's more atmospheric. It actually sounds nice and encapsulates the tone of the scenes. In some ways, I actually thought the show was charming. Even if you still have the weak writing with no subtlety and there are some scenes where it's unbearable. But unlike last time, I actually did buy into the premise. When I first watched this show with how much praise it was getting, I was expecting something new. The obvious comparison is The Boys, which is so different from the superhero genre in a smart way where it feels so unique and fresh. The truth is that Invincible is still different, just in a less defining way. Mark is still your run-of-the-mill Spider-Man, but what if Spider-Man's father was Omni-Man? You have this rip-off Justice League, but what if the Justice League got wiped out? You have this Nick Fury clone, which I'm just gonna call Dick Fury, and he's like, damn it! It is an interesting premise. The second episode then deals with another big problem I had. The fact that Invincible likes to deviate from the main story with these side quest-ass plotlines. Aliens invade. But the thing is that Mark is still growing as a character. Omni-Man naturally sleeps and then wakes up. It's all building this mystery narrative, and then, like, you know, Mark then goes to Mars and he starts having dates with Amber and like the Guardians of the Globe. Awesome drama. And we meet this guy, and Eve is depressed, and Mark drama, Amber college, and the sides, like the fast forward buns, looking really good. Invincible obviously has good elements, but at some point the writing is just not good enough, and it keeps dragging on these boring ass plot lines. It's just not interesting to see these two robots interact. Yo, like Mark, it's super hard being a superhero because your girlfriend of like 3 months hates you and you have bad grades in school. Definitely don't focus on the monsters and villains frequently showing up. You know, 5 dudes exploded in front of you. Any trauma or like at least perspective? I mean, that shit's ass, but like my fucking math teacher, man. You know, it kind of sounds like I'm repeating myself now. I just don't understand why we need all these fucking plot lines that end up just distracting from the main one. Oh look guys, Robot is a deformed baby. He's gonna clone himself in Rex's body. Isn't that crazy?
I'm sorry it wasn't you.
Don't be.
Yo, that's deep, bro. Like, imagine if you cloned yourself. Wow guys, look at all these guys fighting. I care.
You guys just messed up.
Indeed.
Big time.
Yo, guys, you see that guy? That guy's underrated, and I don't mean that in any sense of quality or enjoyment. He's actually crazy power level. Underrated. Isn't close. Even when Invincible is at its best, it still feels limited by the upfront dialogue and the animation. Now listen, I can genuinely look past the PNG sliding or the Newgrounds ass set pieces, but the character faces are just not expressive. At least half of the meaning of a human comes from their face. Sometimes it doesn't even look like the faces match what they're saying.
Stop. Just stop.
Like, yes, it is a cartoon, but that means it's just a cartoon. This has to be some of the least expressive animation I've seen, and it works against it. But eventually, the show does get going in its finale, and it's fine. Omni-Man snaps, and Cecil is doing everything to stop him, but I do not like how it keeps cutting away to the characters' reactions and the news commentators. It's just so distracting and lazy. Eventually, Omni-Man starts beating the shit out of Mark and kills millions of innocent PNGs. Honestly, I don't think it was the right decision to make Omni-Man so cold and void of emotion. They have that super upfront flashback scene with absolutely no subtlety. Like, okay, in that specific random ass moment, Omni-Man learned to appreciate his son. All I'm saying is that Omni-Man is the Viltrumite who found stuff to love on Earth. I would have liked to see some hint of him fighting past those feelings, because especially after season 2, it just doesn't feel like it fits. But whatever, the ending is cool. Except it's not, because then we have a whole last 30 minutes of the show reassuring us that everything is okay. Mark is okay. Immortal is okay. Alan the alien is here. I am so fucking proud of Mark. Ultimately, the downfall of Invincible is the weak writing combined with the uninteresting plot lines that distract from what's interesting. I did enjoy parts of the show, but most of it is such a drag. I'm sorry guys, I'm not feeling a 4. I'm feeling a 3 on Invincible Season 1. And as I've said, the problems of Season 1 are just worse in Season 2. Now guys, I am pretty tired of talking about Invincible. But what we have to realize is that I am not uploading this to a website full of mature people who want to have productive discourse. This video is being uploaded to a website full of man-children who can't handle an opinion. And people hated my Invincible review. But here's the thing. Most people in the United States, which is what I'm going to talk about, go to school. School teaches you a lot. Here's what it doesn't teach you. Critical thinking and the ability to overcome insecurities. These are things that people have to learn by themselves, and a lot of people do not. Man-children are adults who are immature. Being bothered by an opinion makes you immature and therefore a man-child. Putting the situation in different contexts makes it seem stupid, because it is. It is very normalized to get offended by opinions. Monkey see, monkey do. But a lot of things are normalized. The reason I say all this is so nobody's surprised when I start using ABC thinking to call out man-children, because that's all it is. In so many places over the internet. But we're just gonna focus on the Invincible man babies today. So let's see these comments, go more in depth with Invincible, and win this Reddit war! Hey, everybody loves this one thing, therefore I have to shit on it. Okay, so first of all, this guy could be trolling, but it's way more likely that he's not, so we're just gonna assume that all these guys are not trolling. Now, obviously, this guy cannot comprehend that someone just doesn't like something that they like, so they confidently present this scenario as the truth. Now, obviously, trash critical thinking just to master insecurity. Now, I can't imagine how a man-child would not be able to comprehend someone else not liking the show because of echo chambers. Now, I'm not an expert on when and how people decided it was normal to feel personally offended with opinions regarding art, but you can see that the internet today is built on so many man-children who crave validation. For that reason, they will naturally gravitate towards people who give them validation, which is how these echo chambers kind of build up to become self-sustaining. Invincible's animation looks like it was produced in a somersaulting van. Listen. Yeah, you're right.
This is one of the worst takes I've ever heard in a long time. Are you trolling? If that's the case, then you got me. But if you're actually being serious, then you need to just stop and never cook again, because this was bad. Emoji.
Okay, so we got the TikTok Riz Party ass vocabulary, and I'm just gonna assume this is an actual kid. But I will say, it is actually possible to say bad take when talking about opinions. And that is for the genuine reason for the opinion. It exposes the person if they are being clear and honest. But let's not act like man-children have the ability to analyze. Most, if not all, these fucking dudes are saying bad take because it's not the opinion they want to hear. In fact, I think this comment section is a pretty funny situation where all these man babies try their best to bring up some reasoning to justify their insecurities. Because I'm gonna say it right now, Invincible is not that hard to understand.
What the fuck? Is this for real?
Yeah.
It's funny how you're about everything you post. Go find your father.
Okay, we're not sorting by now. All right, so here we have this comment thread that I got into that I want to talk about. Originally, guys, I was not planning to make this video, but a few of you guys asked me to, and I thought it'd be fine to put a bow tie on Invincible. But yeah, basically, I said I was objectively beyond bored while watching this show. This thinker comes in and says,
wait, you can't be objectively bored. What a stupid take.
Now let's think about this for 5 seconds. The quality of art is subjective because it depends on the person experiencing it. However, a person's emotion is not something that depends on other people's experiences. On the universe's timeline, I factually was bored when I watched Invincible. This guy just has trash analytical skill. And look at those 19 likes, guys. Any person with the brain will look at this comment and be like, no, what the fuck? But other man babies with their shitty judgment will look at it and be like, yo, that makes so much sense, dog. And now there's multiple guys who believe that shit. And that's how the internet works. So then there's this guy like, I don't know, man. It seems like you're being a contrarian for the sake of it. So I guess he watched the review and thought, nah, there's no way. Nobody can actually think this, bro. You know, because he can't handle an opinion, obviously. So I refuted, like, what the fuck? And he's like,
I'm not just talking about Invincible. It seems like you're extra harsh on certain movies / TV shows more than others for no reason.
I'm like, it's funny because I know some people are looking at this like, okay, and what's wrong with that? This guy trusts his judgment so much that he's convinced that I'm being harsher on, I guess, certain movies and TV shows. Like he doesn't know which ones or which types, but he just knows, you know? Like, it couldn't be that sometimes I just don't like things. No, I'm being a contrarian, or actually for little to no reason, right? I'm just doing this all for no reason. Actual moron. Like, it would be crazy if you guys tried thinking things all the way through before believing them, let alone posting them.
Why is Mark even trying to go to college when he's the most powerful person on Earth? Yeah, that's the point of the conflict. He's also 19 years old. Why are you expecting him to make consistently logical decisions and have no emotions? It's not bad writing. You're just jaded.
Okay, I mean, before I say anything, I want to let you guys know that most of these comments could be refuted by the video itself, but these people obviously have trouble following it, so it's fine. So obviously this guy's saying that Mark is supposed to be a moron. And first of all, my main problem is that regardless of if it makes sense, it's simply not fun to watch a moron take so long to figure out something so simple. And second, I don't know if you've watched this show that you love so much or that I didn't understand, but in the last scene, the mom, not the stupid child 19-year-old, the mom says this.
I know things have been tough, but this This is your future you're talking about. You can't just quit college.
Dick Fury throughout the show is like, listen, kid, fine, you have to go to college, but please, fine, I'm sorry. This show factually frames this moment as the conclusion of the season, with Mark only now with this experience is coming to this brutal realization that he shouldn't be going to college when the entire earth is at stake. Like, guys, I already fucking talked about this, but this is a guy who is being dishonest about the qualities of his show. You're allowed to like Invincible for what it is, but why are you instead twisting reality to tell me, no, you just didn't understand it? Oh, wait, because he's what is he? A Manchild. Says he hates concept in a scene, shows a random clip, never explains what the scene did wrong. Repeat, literally the video. Okay, listen, if you actually watch this shit.
Yourself is, why are you here talking to me?
And you're just leaning forward invested, then I... Listen, there are differences in how dialogue is written and framed between different media. If you don't notice it at all, even after I explained it in the video, I just don't think there's anything I can do to show you.
Yelling at the mic and showing random clips without explanation is not good criticism, sorry.
Okay, first of all, thank you. I am Eminem. Second of all, bragging about you not being able to comprehend something is never going to make you seem smart. But it is a video you got offended by, and I am never going to ask a man-child to be more productive in discourse.
Repeating shocking information when you're first hearing it is a very human thing to do.
Everything you take aim at is done with the intent of being ironic for purpose. Okay, so the ironic part is not true, okay? I'm not saying Invincible isn't self-aware about how over the top it is at times, but the show literally spends hours on its characters. It takes itself very seriously in that respect, which is why the weak, upfront writing becomes obnoxious. And for the repeating shocking information, like, that's definitely not true. Like, where the fuck did you get that from? Anime? Listen, you can get into criminal psychology videos or literally anything that's documented on the internet. But at the end of the day, no, it doesn't sound natural, and it was clearly done to convey the information to the audience. Which is why 3 seconds later, she starts making these out-of-touch sarcastic comments at Omni-Man like if he didn't already fuck up beyond any redemption.
Like hell he didn't. He didn't have to go to that planet. He certainly didn't have to find a new partner and have a new baby.
And then he talks about Spider-Man, which these comments do defend, but I do want to defend too. Spider-Man works because, first of all, there aren't a numerous amount of crazy-ass villains and monsters that attack Earth regularly. More focused on Raimi, by the way. There isn't a fucking Viltrumite war, which Mark is literally the center of when it comes to Earth because the fucking captain told him. Mark, then being the most important man on Earth, is then fully supported and covered by S.H.I.E.L.D. Spider-Man works because he deals with literal crooks and criminals that the police already go after anyways. He actively chooses to be Spider-Man because of the responsibility he puts on himself. He is a public figure, but the city would not really change or get fucking demolished if he stopped, which is why it is gripping to see Peter deal with this selfishness. Now, I'm not saying Mark shouldn't feel bad. Obviously, he's been through a lot. His dad is a monster and he can't spend as much time with his loved ones anymore. But I don't understand why it took him so long to let go of this obsession with having a normal life. Because it really comes down to realizing it in a logical way, not an emotional one. Which is why the fact that it took him so long makes him look like a fucking idiot. He had guys get evaporated in front of him in season 1. Omni-Man beat the fuck out of him. He went into space and a top Viltrumite told him it was only a matter of time. And yet he realizes his truth when Amber is at risk of dying. You know, just like she would have been if the Viltrumites invaded. Her, along with his entire family and loved ones and college and fucking species. But you know, just have a normal life. Just ignore the problem. There you go. What also makes Spider-Man so much more compelling to me is that even though both him and Mark end up doing the right thing, it feels like Mark always needs to be almost convinced by someone else to do it. Whether it's Dick Fury or Adam Eve, it's genuinely fucking annoying. Whereas Peter always puts what he believes to be the right thing to do over himself, even when he doesn't have powers. When I say shitty Spider-Man, I mean shitty Spider-Man. Like, I'm kind of rambling now, but even on a base level, think about how creative someone would need to be to come up with a superhero like Spider-Man. The costume too. Whereas Invincible, oh, he's super strong and super durable and he can fly. Like, please, Invincible fans, sit the fuck down and show some respect to your daddy. This comment is then like, this video wasn't necessary. And it's like, you man children have to realize that art is subjective. The book of W opinions does not exist. Not everyone is going to echo what you say. You're allowed to like Invincible, and you're a moron if you think my video is supposed to prove why Invincible is objectively bad. So hey guys, what? Spider-Man himself responded. No, I'm just kidding, Colin. Colin the incel, or as I like to call him, Call Incel.
You would know that people tend to lash out in a fit of emotion at times, and or hold certain grudges when they are too stubborn to get over it in their current mindset. And also in real life, this is always apparent in girls most of the time. Let's not act like girls don't sometimes burst out in fits of emotion and or treat someone like an asshole in certain situations.
You know, I understand the unfairness. Everyone wants to be with Spider-Man, but then walk past Peter Parker. No, but guys, listen. I thought I didn't like Invincible, but looks like that was debunked. Let's check this out, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. That was a really hard watch. I think the mentality that Colin brings, where he wants to debunk everything, and you're not explaining, bro. It's genuine cancer. This is literally a 20-minute session of disingenuous or maybe just dumbass point correcting. Just look at this. Mark continuously uses super speed, but not in this final fight where it's extremely drawn out and not tense at all.
Yes, Mark has super speed, and Angstrom is able to react to his attacks.
So he really just said that. And if you've watched any of my speedster videos, you'd know that I call him a moron for that. What the fuck was that power scaling ass analysis of super speed? If Mark used super speed, he would not only be moving a lot faster, he would be slowing down time, which is why he probably wouldn't be falling for these goofy ass portal tricks. Lacking basic logic is gonna be strike one.
I've seen a loud minority of people say that the animation for this show is bad, and I genuinely don't understand it.
Okay, so Colin really just outed himself, not being able to understand why someone would think the animation looks bad. What the fuck is that thinking skill? I like how I've basically already responded to everything this dude has said, even before he made this video. Fucking prophet of truth, apparently. Not only is Colin hiding behind his ignorance, he's making absolutely no effort to open his mind to other people's perspectives. This man really cannot understand why someone would say the animation looks bad. The fuck? Strike two.
And you say this fight isn't tense. What in the actual fuck are you talking about?
Honestly too, like you don't understand, bro. I was literally peeing my pants while watching the scene.
Listen, I'm sure it was a traumatizing scene for you, okay? And I'm sure the entire show is a gripping character drama for you too. But as someone who doesn't only watch kids shows, I gotta say that I didn't really care for the ABC writing. So this scene is obviously supposed to be tense, right? You have the lights off, a baby crying, a dangerous villain on edge, and a helpless woman. You know, this doesn't remind me of anything at all. The Invincible writers are just crazy creative. So we're just gonna have the scene, right? But what if we also made it into a multiverse cameo scene? That shit would be fire! So Mark obviously knows that his mother and brother are at risk of dying, right? So he goes through this portal, and while the portal is still open for him to get back, undoubtedly being able to use super speed, instead he's like,
yo, where am I, dude? Dinosaur Island?
Like, dude, where the fuck is your urgency if your mother is about to die and you don't even know if the dude is gonna open a portal again? This happens like fucking 7 times, and Mark just goes into NPC mode every time while his family is at stake.
Yo, what? You're like a man and a bat? What?
Wow, guys, that is perfect logic. What's even better is that once he goes through the portal, he's instantly more worried about Doc Ock than his own family at stake. Like, seriously, no sense of urgency or even care. Like,
whoa, you're trying to hurt this guy, or whoa, you're Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse, or what, dog?
Also, guys, remember the meta animation scene? Yeah, that shit was fucking lazy. And it just did it because the truth is Invincible does not have impressive writing. I would say it's kind of repelling because of how obvious, repetitive, and drawn out it is. And again, Colin uses his inability to analyze as a point for why I'm objectively wrong, the fucking genius. It's the laziest way to show what she's feeling, and it comes off as very unnatural.
Fuck do you mean she's calm enough to speak? Are you implying that people can't speak when they aren't calm? Like what?
Settle down, son.
No, I have no intention of settling down. This man killed my uncle, and he's still out there.
Also, how is this dialogue unnatural? And how does she seem calm? She's literally talking like someone who's feeling shock and disbelief.
So here he's just hyper focused on Debbie being able to talk. Like, yeah, usually if someone gets exposed with insane information, they usually need a second to breathe and are usually not repeating exactly what they've been told. Colin is then like,
the rest of the scene gives more context to the character's feelings.
And it's like, he's either dumb enough to not know what I just said, or he's intentionally ignoring what I just said. Why do you think I took so long talking about exposition and how characters express themselves? Probably because, you know, maybe I was making a point about that. And then Colin says,
yo, this is just a nitpick at best.
It's like, what the fuck? How dumb is this dude? This man just said nitpick like if I'm trying to prove the show is objectively bad. And I literally said that this problem is prevalent throughout the entire show. Me using that scene is what you call an example. Yes, Invincible is not creative and honestly mostly lazy with how it handles its characterization. Also, just to show how smart Colin is, he uses a Spider-Man 3 scene to show that Debbie's reaction was realistic. Let me say that again. He used a fictional movie scene from a notoriously campy director to justify why another fictional scene was realistic. No, you guys don't understand. This guy's the boogeyman, guys. This is everywhere in this show.
Why are you here talking to me when you should be talking to him?
Okay, so you bring up another scene without elaborating what exactly the problem is?
Bro, twice. Yeah, I'm done. For all you chads who know art is subjective, excuse me for a second. Well, I'm not stupid enough to think you can debunk a review. I know that there are merits in art that an artist strives for. It's not all just random, and yes, people do try to get better in their writing. Colin, let alone the fact that you see nothing wrong with this shit, it's clear that you couldn't tell me the difference in writing between Invincible and a show like Breaking Bad. You couldn't tell me the difference between an anime and a game like Red Dead Redemption 2. But guys, what does Colin consider to be high art? Batman movie, yes, Lego Batman. Spider-Man 2 has a complicated story. You don't understand Spider-Man 2, you're not smart enough. Guys, Insomniac is the master of understanding intricacies of Venom. The fact that you guys don't even know what I'm talking about when I say writing shows how little knowledge you actually have in this medium. Colin's entire video and all the comments I see are just, no, this is actually that, so that's not bad writing. To these morons, good writing just means no plot holes. And as someone who actually knows what writing is, I'll personally assure you that it's a lot more complex than that. When I'm watching Invincible, I genuinely cannot believe how inept it is in its writing. The charm wears off. There is no subtlety, no complexity, and no boundaries pushed in storytelling. There is absolutely nothing to interpret or layers to peel back. There are interesting ideas, but it's all about the execution. It's like fucking Oppenheimer. You guys don't even hear the music. You don't even have the concept of high art in your vicinity. You guys are not knowledgeable, you are superhero fanboys. You guys literally cursed Invincible, the show that you love so much, when it got delayed. It's reasonable to be upset. I would be upset if my favorite show got delayed, but I wouldn't start bashing it in a fit of man-child rage. Your insecurities are not quirks or relatable traits, they are character flaws. Wake the fuck up and improve. You are a detriment to yourself and the people around you while you are immature. I can say firsthand, nothing good comes from being a man-child. Really, it's gonna take a lot more than your moron, ignorant, man-child ass to convince me to take you seriously. I really did not think this many people would be willing to die on the Invincible hill. So I'm sorry I accidentally stepped on you. At the end of the day, guys, my review did get the man-children mad, but there were people who disagreed and took my opinion for what it was. So why was Colin, a dude with 60,000 subscribers, one to say, this is the worst video I've ever watched? Because Colin is a man-child. Colin isn't smart enough to know this, but in the Manchild echo chamber, he plays the role of executioner. He's gonna scope out for different opinions, and when he sees one, he's gonna be like, everyone look, this opinion is now debunked. Don't ever let someone not validate you. This is our perfect victory. All the man-children care about is being validated, so Colin doesn't even have to say anything of value, and he usually doesn't. Colin has obviously said some stupid ass shit in his Spider-Man videos, but guess what, guys? He has the W opinion, so he's W! Colin could literally start deep-throating the mic and people would still love it as long as their opinions matched. You will never see Colin have an unpopular opinion. Now, am I saying that the echo chambers create man-children? No, but they do reinforce their man-child insecurities. If people were more normally exposed to different opinions, they would maybe hate it at first, but eventually learn to deal with it. I've gotten a lot of people telling me, dude, why are you so mad, bruh? And surprisingly, if I give Invincible Season 2 a 2, it's gonna be because I didn't like the fucking show. I am not going to compromise or filter myself just because I know my video will offend man babies. Here's the thing though, everyone keeps having their $3 logic with thinking all my points are criticisms or I'm critiquing Invincible. Dumbasses, art is subjective. I'm not critiquing Invincible, I'm reviewing it. I'm explaining how I feel and why I feel that way. Obviously, from a more artistic standpoint, I will use the word critique loosely, but if I was in a position to change Invincible, I wouldn't. Obviously, what they're doing is making a ton of money and I wouldn't trust myself and risk messing it up. And I think part of the appeal is how forward and ABC it is. Art is subjective because not everyone is going to connect with a certain thing. And looking at the things I look for, it would be bad writing in real life if I liked Invincible. which is why the point of discourse isn't grouping up with people who think like you, it's connection. If you're not going to be a man baby about it, I would love to hear why you personally connect with Invincible, or why you don't connect with something that I like. But that's not the internet. The internet is full of man children. I'm going to say this. Everyone, including idiots, will trust their own judgment. Now, the man baby will see this and use their shitty logic to say, that means you're the idiot. But I'll give you 2 reasons. 1, I remember when I was a clapped head, not so much with opinions, but with my insecurities about loneliness and friendship and my overall character. But the thing is that I grew, and I remember growing. I actually have a series of events I can point to as to why I trust my judgment. A man-child's only reason for why they would be normal is, yo, like, you're being disrespectful, like. The second reason is that a smarter person will read the dumber person like a book. Analysis is a skill. I know exactly why you morons operate the way you do. Most of what you do online points back to your insecurity. I already made a video on you morons before you got mad, and I don't think I've seen one point that doesn't match up with it. No, that I am not trying to say that I'm smart. Man children are just fucking dumb.
Your favorite thing is objectively good, so you are not a loser. You're not a loser.
In conclusion with Invincible, I just think it's a slow burn with writing that isn't anywhere near good enough to justify it. It keeps deviating and distracting itself, and it never builds up to anything moving. After season 2, it's clear that they're just trying to edge you, but I do not think the Invincible writers are capable of any crazy finish. If you look at it based on just how good the writing is, no, it's not the worst shit ever, but it's less than mediocre. And to me, the worst thing art can be is boring, because then what the fuck is the point? I'm not going to say, oh, well, Invincible 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. No, I just do not enjoy myself watching it. But what I realized, guys, is that there is no changing anything and no point to me turning back after every video. I do actually want to apologize to the people who understand the videos I make, because I know this is like the 7th time I've made the exact same video. However, people have taken things away from them, and that honestly makes it all worth it. My goal now is to make better videos on things that I am passionate about. Because I kind of realized I don't even care what people think an opinion is. Know that when I say man children, I don't say that lightly. Having blatant insecurities like not being able to handle an opinion doesn't happen harmlessly. Because think about it, what else can't they handle? All I can say is that I hope they do change for the sake of themselves and the people around them. If not, they will eventually run into the consequences of their insecurities down the line. Really, the solution to all this is full circle. Just talk shit and move on like in the Speedster videos. And I'm going to continue to say what I feel even if it pisses off more man children in the future. But yeah, don't ask me about these Reddit dramas anymore. Go watch some 40-year-olds make poems about each other instead. The birthplace of these man children. Goats like me, we take inspiration from the real Kendrick Lamar. Or should I say, the only Manel Cap. Kendrick makes therapeutic music for NPCs who need it. We don't need it. Goat shit only, bitch. Because all of you people are a bunch of